In the past few years, I've personally landed over 434 high-ticket clients, and I've helped others land another 500. So this is the exact process I went about in order to turn a complete stranger into a client. What I need you guys to realize is basically, in order to land a client, 3 things need to happen. They have to see your stuff, and then they have to click on it. So whether that's an ad, whether that's cold outreach, whatever it is, they have to see your offer and click on it. After they click on it, they have to convert on it. Right after they click on the ad, they have to fill out the lead form or fill out the landing page or schedule a call. And then after that, they already scheduled the call, they have to go through the sales process, get closed in order to give you their credit card information. So regardless of anything, whatever funnel you're running, whatever outreach method you're running, these 3 things need to happen in order for you to turn a stranger into a client. And so to preface this whole video, what I want to get to you guys is like, this shit is not easy, right? Everyone's gonna lie to you and say that this is really easy, but it's not. This is something that needs to be refined, and it is a really hard skill to learn. And so something that I always compare it to is like, let's say your service is even $500 a month, pretty cheap. The average car payment for a $40,000 car is also $500 a month. And so like, would they rather pay for your service or they'd rather get a new car? And so you have to be providing so much value to these people in order for them to buy your shit. So I say all that to get the point across that like, before all of this, before the sales process and the ad and everything like that, you actually have to be able to provide something of value to somebody. And like, if you can't do that, then nobody's gonna pay you for it. And if nobody's gonna pay you for it, then click off this video and find something valuable you can provide to somebody. But all of that aside, step 1 is, again, getting people to click on our stuff. So how can we do that? There are so many different ways to get people to click, whether that's cold email, cold DMs, paid ads on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever. But I suggest paid ads. And the reason for that is one word, and it's leverage, right? You could go manually send 100 DMs a day, or you could pay $5 to get your ad in front of 100 people. And so when you're paying that $5, you're using something called capital as leverage. Something else about paid ads that is always a benefit is people are coming to you. They're clicking on your stuff rather than you sending something cold to their inbox, right? So like, when was the last time you ever bought something from a cold DM? Probably never. And so like, that's what I need you to realize is like, if you're not closing from it, neither are they. And then last thing about paid ads is all service providers run ads. Everyone over 50K a month is running ads. Like, right? Like Cole Gordon blew up his business with paid ads. He doesn't have a huge presence on YouTube or with content or anything. The only reason he scaled so hard is because he found one ad, did it really, really well, spent a lot of money on it, and scaled from there. Same thing with Jim Launch and Alex Ramosi. Paid ads is probably the most leveraged thing you can do in your business, because if you do find that one ad that converts and spend a lot on it, then you are going to make a fuck ton of money and really blow up whatever industry you're in. But I made a quick training for you guys about how to succeed with ads. And if this is something you can understand, and if you can really dial in on this short training, then you will be very, very successful with paid ads. So with all that being said, when it comes to the actual creation of the ad, there's only one thing that matters, and that's the offer. If you have an irresistible offer, then people will click your ad and it will succeed. If you don't, no one's gonna click it. Really start to hammer in on the fact that you need to give an offer that your market wants more than anything. Because like, creative aside, the video you're using, whatever image you're running, none of that matters if your offer isn't dialed in. So make sure you're providing real value to the market that you're in. So step 1, like we were talking about, we got somebody to click on the ad, right? That's out of the way. Now it's step 2. So someone clicks on the ad, how can we convert them from just a click to somebody giving us their contact information? So this one's super simple. The KPI that we run internally is 1 in 3 people that click on the lead form are going to become a lead. If they're not a lead, then clearly something is wrong with the lead form. Now, depending on how much you know about ads, right, you can either run a lead form or a landing page. Lead form essentially means that they stay on Facebook or they stay on Instagram and they just fill something out. Landing page means they go externally, get sent to a website, and they have to fill something out on the website. Now, no matter where you are, honestly, I just suggest you do a lead form. There are advantages to a landing page once you're at like 200K a month plus, and you really need to collect a bunch of data and be very, very strict with like your lookalike audiences and your pixels and stuff like that. Anything below that, honestly, just run a lead form. It's a lot simpler and you're gonna get better results. But with all that complicated stuff being said, literally just take my lead form. This is it right here. It's short, it's simple, it's straight to the point. There's literally one qualification question. And so whatever industry you're in, let's say you're in roofing, literally an example would be, are you a roofer doing over 10K a month, right? So like, just asking if they are the audience that you're looking for. If you're targeting coaches, are you a coach over 5K a month, right? Yes. Okay, let's click on it and let's keep going. No. All right, then don't click on it anymore, right? And so then after that initial qualification, then just send them to a calendar link and then they can book a call. But something I like to say about ads and media buying as a whole is like, you need to start at a level of friction. What I mean by that is just like how easy it is to get through your funnel that is very low. So we want to make it very, very easy for somebody to give us their contact information, right? Why would we make it hard? So at that point, we have their contact information and we can contact them. Then if we have a problem with getting qualified leads, is then when you would start adding more complicated stuff. People think to scale to 100K a month, you need some very complex system that has this retargeting ad and this funnel and this pixel and high gross connected and all this complicated shit. When in reality, you need one ad that is simple, that works really well. And so like Alex Hormozi says, simple scales, complex fails. And with ads and media buying, that could not be closer to the truth. The goal here is to make something simple, straight to the point, where you can collect somebody's information, where they fill it out, and where it's easy for them. Okay, so we got them to click on it, right? They clicked on our ad. And then after that, they converted on the ad. Now we have their contact information. And so the third step is going to be, how can we convert that contact information into somebody paying us money? What I need you guys to realize is getting the leads is easy, right? Literally, if you have a good offer and a decent ad and you kind of know what you're doing a little bit, then getting leads should not be the problem. But when it comes to the sales process, after you get the lead and turning them into somebody that's like, hey, I want $2,000, can you give it to me? That's something that's pretty hard. This is where the fun begins, you could say. But like I said, like now it's go time. We have to convince them that we are the best fit for their business and that we can provide more value to them than their car, like I was talking about earlier. There's been many studies done that in order for somebody to be a very easy close, meaning when they get on the sales call, they don't need you to convince them, they don't need to be hard sold, and they kind of just want to know how much it is, ready to give you their card, they have to consume 7 hours of content on 4 different platforms on 11 different touch points. And so basically what that means is 7 hours of content. That's pretty straightforward and simple and to the point, right? 4 different platforms would just be like Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, email, text. And then 11 different touch points would just be they see your face or get a text from you 11 different times before they are ready. And so the point of this 7, 4, 11 sequence, right, is so we can get them to like, know, and trust us before the call. Because guys, think about it. When is the last time, or when have you ever bought something from somebody that was expensive that you didn't like, know, or trust, right? I'm not out there ever responding to cold DMs. I'm not responding to cold emails. I'm not responding to anything like that. The biggest tip that I can give you about business in general is just like think of the situation if you were your prospect. And so the point I'm trying to get across is after they become a lead, every single thing in our power should be getting them to consume 7 hours of content on 4 different platforms with 11 different touch points. And I know you're probably like, Cole, how the f are they going to consume 7 hours of content from me before the call? And it sounds damn near impossible. To be honest, don't get me wrong, it pretty much is unless you have a big audience. But in my experience, this is the best way in order to achieve the 4-7-11 rule. So first things first, to get this out of the way, ideally, we would have already gotten a touch point out of the way before they become a lead, right? And so before they even opt in, we would preferably have them see us a bunch of times. Now, we can go into the complex tricks of the trades with retargeting ads and top of funnel ads, but that is not necessary to scale to 100K a month. But other than that, we need to perform the 4-7-11 technique after they book the call. And so right when they book the call to right when they show up to the call, we need to get them to like, know, trust us to the best of our ability, or else the possibility of them closing is very, very low. What I need you guys to realize is even the best closer in the world with a very poor sales process and bad messaging and bad marketing is not going to be able to close any deals. But the shitty closer who has no idea what they're doing with killer marketing, killer messaging, and a killer sales process can still close at 20% plus. The 4 platforms that I've seen work the best in the agency space after being in it for so long are email, either Instagram or Facebook, text, and YouTube. So tactically, like this is what the whole process looks like. So they see our ad on Instagram, right, with our offer in it. We also set up a retargeting ad where it just retargets those people with just content. So it's just value content where it's like, I'm providing you value for completely free. And then then after that, they end up opting in to our ad. Now, after they opt into our ad, they get added to our newsletter, where we send them emails, right? So at this point, they've seen us on Instagram or Facebook, wherever they opted into the ad. And now after they've opted in, we're going to send them to a newsletter. And so we're going to be touching on emails as well. And then after that, hopefully, again, in the perfect case scenario, they book a call. After the call is booked, we're going to text them, right, with our text automations in High Level, HubSpot, whatever your CRM is, and we're gonna send them to something that I like to call a straight to the point YouTube playlist. And so what basically this is like a sequence of FAQs or value that your market wants answered. Let's say people are always asking you this specific question on the sales call. I would add that to the YouTube playlist, right? Let's say you're in a specific niche and they always have this question about how to generate leads. Then make a training on it and put it in there, right? And so like, we don't want to have these huge 1-hour training videos or Facebook ad training videos typically in the agency space, because most local businesses don't want that. Now, if you're targeting coaches or agencies, then it's a completely different story. But most local businesses don't want to even know how to do this stuff. They just want you to do it for them. And so in this straight to point YouTube playlist, right, it's addressing things like, why should you trust us? How are we any different? Like frequently asked questions and things like that to pre-handle the objections, again, to get them to like, know, trust. But if you can dial this exact sales process in, then I guarantee you can make so much money that you don't even know what to do with it. And like I said, the sales process is the hard part. This is something that's going to need to be dialed in and refined. The getting leads, that's the easy part.